Hello and welcome to the first episode of BC Insider. I'm Lisa LaPlante, Communications Manager for Boulder City, and welcome to this once-a-month look at the issues that impact Boulder City. Nevada lawmakers passed AB 356 last year to deal with the historic drought impacting Lake Mead. Boulder City is taking steps to comply with the law. John Entsminger oversees the Southern Nevada Water Authority, responsible for acquiring, treating, and delivering water to local agencies that serve 2.3 million residents and more than 40 million annual visitors. John joins me today to talk about the law and how it impacts Boulder City. Welcome.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much. So first of all, let's talk about the health of Lake Mead. Where are we right now?
Well, the lake's actually come up. I'm sure as the people of Boulder City, been living right next to it have seen, we had a nice wet winter last year and it came up, around 40 feet, which is the good news. But the bad news is since the turn of the century, it's still down over 130 feet. And right now projections are it'll be about flat over the next 2 years.
So talk to me about why it's so important to conserve water, especially water being used outdoors.
Well, here in Southern Nevada, we have a legal entitlement to 1.8% of the Colorado River, with which we have to take care of 76% of the state's population, right? And that's 90% of our water supply. And because most of the valley, if it hits a drain, we treat it, we put it back into the lake. The only way to really reduce our overall water consumption is by limiting outdoor use.
And I keep hearing this term non-functional turf, non-functional grass. What exactly is that?
Well, there's a really long legal definition that I won't get into, but my rule of thumb that I tell people is if it's grass that you wouldn't let your kids or grandkids play on, then it's non-functional.
How has all of this impacted golf courses?
Well, golf courses have been probably the largest industry in terms of water conservation for the last 20 years. Southern Nevada golf courses have reduced their water usage by about 44 million square feet of turf by taking that turf out. So they've been a really good partner and they've continued to thrive economically.
Have you heard any complaints, any issues with property values around golf courses?
No, we haven't seen any decrease in property values because the turf that has come out is turf that isn't really in play. We've done geo-tracking, and so we know where the golfers, except for the couple of duffers, we know where most of the golfers are hitting their ball, and so we're not taking that grass out. We're taking out the grass that is non-functional, just as we previously discussed.
Okay, yeah, usually mine ends up off the course altogether. So talk to me a little bit about what I'm hearing from a lot of residents is that they feel Nevada isn't being treated fairly with this, that Nevada has to give up more than other states such as California, Arizona. What do you say to that?
I guess the first thing I would say is I don't view it as a negative that Southern Nevada is recognized as a world leader in water conservation. I think that's a positive for our community to be viewed that way, but we're not the only ones. If you look at Los Angeles, if you look at Albuquerque and Denver, and our agricultural community in the desert Southwest, a lot of the region has done a lot to conserve water. We're not the only ones.
When the founding fathers developed Boulder City, they really didn't have a plan on what to do with wastewater. Currently what we do is we treat it just to the point where it becomes a decent effluent that we can release into evaporation ponds and into retention areas kind of off in the desert. Most of Clark County retreats it, reclaims it, either sends it to golf courses for use there or sends it back into Lake Mead so that we're actually getting flow credits for it. Talk to me about the things that Boulder City has been doing and how SNWA is trying to help us in making sure that we find a sustainable program for our wastewater.
Yeah, so Boulder City has expressed a strong interest in, essentially replicating the return flow credit methodology that the rest of Southern Nevada has. So to that end, we, SNWA, have commissioned a feasibility study to look at 3 different options. One, to take that effluent and reuse it on Boulder City's golf courses and parks. 2, get it back into the Colorado River via injection wells. Or 3, hook it into existing plumbing in the valley and get that water back into to Lake Mead. So we expect that feasibility study to be available and presented to City Council by the fall of this year, and hopefully a final decision can be made on which of those three options to pursue about this time next year, or late spring, early summer of next year.
And even then, it might take some time for us to start installing whatever it is we decide to do, correct?
Oh, I mean, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has already put in our capital plan $25 million to assist the city of Boulder City in accomplishing that project. So once a decision's made, you're still facing years of actually implementing it.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate hearing that, and I'm sure that residents also appreciate hearing it. Now, we've also seen a lot of growth in the valley, a lot of new businesses coming to the valley. There is a resource plan that you guys have in place. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so SNWA does a 50-year resource plan every single year. So we always have a 5-decade outlook on the safety and sustainability of Southern Nevada's water supplies. So we did that again in January of this year. Clean bill of health. We absolutely, if we achieve our conservation targets here in Southern Nevada, we don't show any scenario where we're not going to have sufficient water supplies through the mid-2070s.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for breaking these down and letting us know that this is something that we all kind of have to chip in on to make sure that we're keeping all of Southern Nevada healthy.
Thanks for having me.
Be sure to check out the BC Insider once a month, and we'll be posting it online at www.bcnv.org/news. Thank you, and we'll see you next month.